So it was a very early morning, and the mission was just to basically kill, capture a high-value Hague commander that was located up in Shock Valley with an undetermined amount of fighters. Made the flight in. Once we got there, helicopters came to hover and we were expecting them to land in this river bottom, and they just kind of kept hovering, so we were kind of looked at the crew chief and he just told us to go. And we looked down, it was about a 10-foot drop off, unfortunately. It was just rocky and a lot more treacherous than we thought, which was, not a great way to start the day. So I remember specifically at that point, those of us in our element that was down in the riverbed were basically immediately just found cover behind some rocks. It was just kind of quiet, and then all of a sudden, everything kind of exploded all at once. Machine gun fire, some RPGs started going off, and then started returning fire up towards the village. That's kind of when things started getting a little haywire. Once we got up there, we saw immediately that Dylan was shot and then Luis was shot. Everybody else was kind of hunkered down, had decent cover, but not the best cover. Scott and I with the captain, looked around, tried to figure out exactly what we wanted to do, how we were going to get the wounded guys out of there, and then see what made sense from that point. I went down about halfway down, called a couple more of our guys and asked them to bring more commandos up so we could basically make a kind of a chain to help pass these casualties down because they were going to be on litters. I went back up to assess that situation and then really figure out, okay, how we're going to handle this. And Scott was ambulatory, so meaning he could walk. He'd already had a tourniquet put on his upper left arm here was shot. So I was basically able just to get him up on his feet and then helped him climb down. I passed Tim, I gave him to Seth and asked Seth to take him. There's a little house down towards almost at the river bottom. And that's where John was. His leg, he'd been shot in the leg. It basically was amputated, so he wasn't able to move. And then Ron still had Dylan and Luis to deal with, who neither of them could move either, because Luis was shot in the ankle and then Dylan in the hip. So I went back down about halfway again, trying to establish a way, a corridor to move these guys through. I knew we couldn't go up the same way that I'd gone the other times, just because it'd been getting pretty heavy fire. So there's a cliff face that went around to a little outcropping. That we basically, I saw if we could scale across that, we could get onto this outcropping, and then we'd be able to come up from behind where those other guys were. Once we got linked up with everybody, Seth pushed forward with his sniper rifle and was helping to provide cover. Dave and them had already found a route down and were helping to move casualties, so we just continued to pull everybody else off that was up there, made sure we had all of our gear, and then made our way down. We basically had to hold our ground the best we could so that the medevac birds were comfortable enough flying in to exfil those casualties and then then go from there. So they were taking fire the whole entire time, so they were awesome pilots, but they came in and really, they saved the day, really, helping those guys get out of there. But I think that day, one of the worst predicaments that I've been in my life at that point, the experience from that has helped me, I think, through my whole entire career. Just remain level-headed and focus on what needs to happen as opposed to what is happening. My current team leader always jokes that my heart rate never gets above 50. He's always wondering why I don't ever get excited. I'm like, there's really nothing to get excited about right now.
I'm very proud of him, and I've always thought that he can do anything and deserves anything that comes to him, but this award is really obviously a step above everything else. I was extremely proud of the Silver Star.
I think it's an honor for me to receive it on behalf of the Special Forces Regiment, really, and hopefully represent the regiment in a positive manner and really help get the story out about what it is that we're actually doing and what Green Berets are actually capable of.